After learning that he has the ability to travel through time, a young man discovers that getting all that he wants out of life may not be as easy as he thinks in About Time.
Welcome to Made in Hollywood. I'm Rachel McAdams, and here's a clip from my new film, About Time.
There's this family secret that the men in the family can travel in time.
This is such a weird joke.
It's not a joke.
If it's true, which it isn't.
Although it is.
But if it was, which it's not.
Which it is.
How would I actually...
You go into a dark place, clench your fists, think of the moment you're going to, and you'll find yourself there.
I really love your rapport in this film. Tell me a little bit about what you do, what your process is to kind of, get the kind of connection that you two have.
I was a fan of Bill's from beforehand, so I mean, I guess in a way there's that kind of looking up to somebody, which is obviously the way Tim feels about his dad, and hoping to learn from somebody, and that was all stuff that was real life stuff, so I guess you bring that too.
Well, I hope I see you again. Actually, we met on the street where our characters have their first kiss. Richard sort of orchestrated it that way, so he took us around the neighborhood and then took us to dinner, and we got to know each other better then, which was lovely.
For me, it was always going to be all about love.
The writing was good, so you kind of trust that also, and it didn't feel like we had to do a huge amount of work.
Those bigger scenes, those kind of high-powered scenes were towards the end of the schedule, so we'd had time to hang out and be around. And,
fortified a little bit.
And action.
But I think the thing about chemistry is when you tell the audience these two people are in love or they're meant to be together or something, I think the audience really wants that for the characters, so I feel like, you really don't have to have even a lot of chemistry for people to be rooting for that to work out.
I'm Tim.
I'm Mary.
It's my mother's name.
I remind you of your mother.
Obviously, I should have thought these through more. Could you give me 1 second?
I'm a fan of yours, and I always feel like you have a very interesting way of looking at life. I think the first film of yours I saw was 4 Weddings and a Funeral. But this is a little bit different because you're working with time travel, which has been done a lot. Tell me why you thought this was a good idea.
The thing about the time travel is it's a great big trick. It's a great big fantasy so that you give someone the power to do anything they like in life, and what they decide is just to relish a normal day.
It's almost sort of a time travel movie in inverted commas. It's almost like it says, well, yeah, but not really. Because it's, as you say, it's just a device to deliver a very simple but very, very profound message.
I love your eyes.
Do you?
I love the rest of your face too. Haven't even looked further down, but I'm sure it's all fantastic. I'm sure it'll be better next time.
The way he writes, obviously, a lot of it is in the language, but when you're playing it, does the comedy just sort of come about, or do you kind of really know when you've hit it, or do you really not have any idea?
That's funny, yeah, that's a good one. I think, no, I think you want to know that it's happened. I mean, you don't want the scene to finish and just Richard to be cradling his head in his hands and thinking, I thought this was going to be funny. See, I guess you pay a little bit of attention to why it might be funny, but then you just kind of do the scene a little bit, I think.
He really made it mean more. I don't know if he knows that. He's kind of very humble fella, but he really did. Like, he's just taken. He's showing you in that movie that song. It showed me that it was more than I thought it was, which is awesome.
I guess, striking the right chords and the right tone is always a challenge with that. You don't want to be too zany or, and you want it to be rooted and people to be able to relate to it, but you also want people to have a really good time. So, but I think Richard does that so well.
But in my films, the key thing probably is that they can be funny too. I always want the films to be funny, and there are a lot of actors who are great actors, but they're not good with jokes.
It's very difficult sometimes to hit the balance between trying to be funny and trying to be true. Right. So, you hope that you hit it.
I tried to live every day as if it was the final day of my extraordinary, ordinary life.
I hope I see you again.
You will. My whole life depends on it.